Gratitude is the feeling we have when we experience and reflect upon something that is of value to us. Now, this could be something which is given to us, or simply a feeling which spontaneously rises in our heart when we recognize the love and blessings in our life. So why is it so important to be grateful? Well, it's important because gratitude is the very basis of everything. Being grateful, for example, reduces distress and anxiety, which is far too common in society today. All emotions stem from either love or fear, regardless of the emotion being experienced. Feeling hurt, cheerful, frustrated, proud, angry, excited, or any other emotion. Gratitude or appreciation is of the same vibration as love. It's up here. Therefore, when you feel grateful, it makes it harder to feel distress, anxiety, or any other negative emotion down here. Try it. Think of a major stressor in your life right now. Or if you don't have one, then maybe something that stressed you out in the past. And just sit with it for a moment. Notice what this feels like in your mind and in your body. Now think of something which you are really grateful for right now and completely focus your intention on it. Notice the shift not only in your thinking, but also in how you feel. In this way, gratitude helps further to create a more positive mindset, meaning that you are more likely to seek solutions and opportunities as opposed to just giving up. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We really do. And that is to be happy. However, many of us have been led to believe that when we are happy, then we are grateful. However, if this were to be the case, then why are there so many people who have everything that it would take to be happy, but they're still not happy? In a similar way, why are there people who have very little or so much misfortune, but whom radiate happiness? Why? It's because they are grateful. So it is not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. If you want to be happy in life, then there's no way around it. You must be grateful. Another reason why gratitude is so important is because being grateful helps you to live life to the fullest. And I say this because when we don't feel grateful through our dissatisfaction, we close off to and miss out on all of the good things that life has to offer us. We miss all of it. In contrast, when we open our hearts and become more grateful, then we are able to experience all of the joy and gifts available to us in each and every moment. And in this way, we are able to live our life to the fullest. Next, gratitude also helps us to focus on what's really, really important. Marcus Tullius Cicero once said, "To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches." And this is so true. The more you practice gratitude, the more content you become, and the more you come to understand that what you really need to fulfill yourself has very little to do with the external world. In this way, gratitude helps to free yourself from having to be, do, or have anything in particular, and with it, much of the stress caused by chasing all things external. This doesn't mean that you will sell all of your possessions and retreat to the mountains It simply means that instead of being fixated on and wanting all of the unnecessary stuff, you will instead, by your very nature, find yourself desiring to live a much more, simple, meaningful, and authentic life. A life which allows more time and energy to adopt positive lifestyle behaviors and restore balance and well-being. And in this way, having a strong sense of gratitude really enables you to be the best version of yourself. In fact, gratitude helps to deepen the connection with your authentic self by helping you to like and even love yourself more. This allows you to become more focused, more calm, more resilient, more compassionate, and much more motivated. Something which many of us seem to struggle with a lot. And so, as you can see, being grateful is integral to everything we do, including your ability to live a healthy and happy life. Now that you know why having gratitude is so important, I just want to talk about some of the ways in which we can become more grateful. And the first point I want to start with is to not compare yourself with others. In today's consumer culture, it's easy to compare ourselves with others whom we think have more than ourselves, which, if we permit, can leave us feeling less grateful and, quite frankly, pretty low. Social media has taken this to another whole level, with numerous applications becoming an omnipresent force of comparison. The result being less gratitude and decreased happiness. What's important to realize is that what most people post on social media is often only the best parts of their life and not the chaotic stuff that goes on behind the scenes. No one's life, is ever really perfect. It's also important not to compare yourself against anyone or anything else, because your life and your journey is unique to you. It may seem that others may have more to be grateful for, and sometimes they do, but that's their journey, not yours. We each have, according to our own Dharma, our path and our choices. And the more we focus on our own journey instead of everyone else's, the more blessings we have to be thankful for. It's also useful to turn on the news once in a while to remind yourself of just how fortunate you really are compared to much of the world. There are always people out there with less than you, which is another reason to count your blessings. Which takes me on to the next point. The reality is that most of us have so many things to be grateful for, many of which we often don't appreciate until we lose them. So instead of focusing on everything that you don't have, focus on what you do have. This includes your senses, your ability to hear, to see, to touch, to taste, to feel, for the ability to walk, talk, love, laugh, play, for the fact that you live in a safe country and not in a country like North Korea or Syria, for your freedom, for your ability to travel, for your education, your job, your shower this morning, your bed, your food, clean water, fresh air, your clothes, your heater, the internet, for electricity. Much of the world still lives in darkness. For your friends and family, your pets, the earth, all of the amazing animals and so much more. Essentially, for life itself, because life truly is a gift, and this is the real secret. Once you acknowledge that life really is so precious, then you automatically become grateful for your ability to experience life itself and everything in it. So be grateful and celebrate life every day, not just on your birthday, because every moment is precious. Next, it's important to look after your mind and your body. Gratitude, first and foremost, starts with you, meaning that if you feel good about yourself, then you'll also feel good about life. In order to feel grateful, you need to really look after yourself by engaging in positive lifestyle behaviors, such as regular exercise, healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and everything else I preach about within my Holistic 360 program. If you don't do one of these things, then it's easy to fall out of balance and with it lose gratitude. A great way to become more appreciative of your mind and your body is to take a moment to write down some of the great things that your body does. For example, our bodies create new life. We can make babies. Our bodies fight off most viruses before they make you sick with our immune system. Your body sweats to keep you cool. Yawning, is there to regulate your brain temperature. Sneezing is there to clear foreign material. Your body burns up a fever to let you know you're sick and kill it. Your body lets you experience life itself and so much more wonderful things. Next, another great thing to do, and this is a really good one if you're someone who generally doesn't take the time to express gratitude or appreciation, is to set up a gratitude reminder. And it's about becoming aware of and reminding yourself of even one thing in your life which you are grateful for each day. You can find more things to be grateful for once you get into this habit, but it's just a good idea to start off with one thing a day. And you can write this down in a journal or on a wall calendar where you'll see it. By the end of the month, you will see that you have much to be grateful for. Or if you prefer not to write it down, then just say it to yourself when you're in the shower or maybe when you're going to bed. It's a good idea to vocalize your gratitude regardless, as it helps those around us to become more grateful too. Another really important way to be more grateful is to be more mindful of, and if required, change your language. The whole idea being to infuse everything that you say with a deep sense of gratitude instead of speaking from a place of compulsion, if you like. And we can do this by simply reframing the things that we often say. For example, I have to go to the gym sounds like a burden versus I get to go to the gym, which sounds like a privilege, hence the gratitude. Or another example might be I have to go to work versus I get to go to work. So try to have a think about some of the ways in which you can reframe your own language for an increased sense of gratitude. And whilst you are reframing your language, don't forget to smile either. We smile when we are content and happy with our situation. And so the more you smile, the more grateful you will feel. So never underestimate the power of a smile. And finally, the last point I want to touch on when it comes to being more grateful is to always look for the opportunities. Life can be really hard and even unfair sometimes. And when this happens, it can be difficult to feel grateful. It really can. This is okay because we cannot be grateful for everything, especially for things like violence or exploitation, etc. Instead, what we need to do when we are confronted with things which are very difficult is to rise to this occasion and respond to the opportunity which is given to us in that given moment. And we can rise to it by often learning something which is sometimes painful. To learn, to suffer, to stand up, all of these are opportunities that are given to us, and the more we avail ourselves to these opportunities, the more we are able to make something out of life. Simply open your heart and do whatever the opportunity invites you to do, which mostly is the opportunity to enjoy life. And this is the real challenge for each of us, to find the opportunities that exist in the present moment instead of being dragged back into the past and becoming a victim. This is a cup half full mentality, which is not only a key towards remaining grateful, but it's also the key to being more resilient too, which is really, really important. So when you can, take a moment to think about what are the opportunities that exist in the present moment, which will enable you to avoid being dragged back into the past and becoming a victim, in other words, feeling ungrateful, so that you can enjoy and make the most out of your life. So remember, gratitude has a positive effect on every area and aspect of your life. So don't wait to count your blessings, for if you do, you'll miss them and you'll miss the present that is given to you in every moment of this journey that we call life. Instead, make the time to stop and smell the roses and to be grateful for all that you have in your life each and every day. So, how often do you feel grateful?
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to learn more about the other essential attributes of staying in your best shape. And until next time, watch what you chew, do what you need to do, and always live true.